Hello and welcome to Making Law Simple. My name is David Helm, a homeless internet lawyer. Let's see, are we up and running live? We are. Yay, yay. I don't know why there's been such a delay lately. Trying to make sure my streams are up and running, but there has been, so it is good to make sure we are going. Yes, we're going on, looks like all platforms. Mr. Fiery Red Podcast. Hello there, sir. Mads in the house. Mads, I owe you a video. Good afternoon, genitals. Welcome. We got Justin. We have Christine. Hey, Ashley. Welcome. Hello, hello. Look at Gwendolyn is here. Getting a few people strolling in. Let's see. Treehouse looks nice. The treehouse is actually very nice, actually. So I like it a lot. It's got my Legos over here, a little fireplace, my How to Be Swedish book, studying up. But yeah, so the treehouse is coming along. We could live here. I know my camera's all whacked. But how is everybody doing? So I saw this hearing on TikTok actually a few weeks ago, and I decided to capture it. And I thought one day I'm going to stream this on I don't know, just as a fun stream. So I thought today would be a good day to bring it all to you guys. I was going to just post it, and then I thought it would be more fun to kind of watch it all together. And if you guys don't know, I do a lot of family law. I would say maybe half my practice is family law. So this kind of stuff, this is a interim divorce hearing. When I say interim motion for like a temporary, like in Michigan, we would just do a status quo. Whatever you guys have been doing, you continue to do. But sometimes you can ask to split the bills and for like exclusive use of the marital home and things like that. And this is kind of what this is. So it's at the very beginning of a divorce case, and it's just to determine the bills. But what comes out of it is hilarious and funny. Let's see. Just got the dishwasher loaded. Nice. Hello, Phoenix and Taz in the chat. Look at there's Wendy. Hello, hello. All right. So, but anyway, so I thought this would be fun. Now, before we begin, I just looking at these two people, I want to know in the chat what you think when they met, not what they're doing now, but what you think she did for a living and what you think he did for a living when they met and when they started dating. That's what I want to know. So what did she do for a living and what did he do for a living at the beginning of this? And stripper. Possibly. Stripper, everyone's saying stripper. So by the way, so there's some technical tedious stuff here, but there's a lot of awesomeness in between some of the tedious stuff. And I don't know, I laughed at it. I thought it was hilarious. And waitress and accounting. Okay. Accountant, drug dealer. She was a medical assistant. He was an accountant, my guess. Okay. She's in real estate. Yeah, right. Yeah. It's always, when you fail at all other career opportunities, you go into real estate sort of thing. Teacher, psychologist. Okay. So when we start off this hearing, this is a, I don't know who brought the motion. I don't know if she brought the motion or he did. I imagine he did because his attorney, who's a woman, starts off the questioning. And the first witness is the wife. So that's where we're going to start. It was a little confusing to me at first. But if you kind of know that to begin with, then, now I screwed it up. There we go. Then it might be more helpful. So the woman is the husband's attorney, and the first witness is going to be the wife. And when I'm done with this, I'm just going to post this video out in the public, and you guys can watch it. But I find it funny. But let's let's get going. I'm playing it at 1.5, I think. If it's too fast, let me know. I can follow along. I did put subtitles up. And because I got this from TikTok, there's already subtitles on there. But it should be entertaining and just a fun little stream.
State your name, please, ma'am.
Jordan Lindsay Bachnick.
And Ms. Body, where do you work?
Envision Healthcare.
And what do you do for Envision Healthcare?
I'm an AP specialist.
And what,
Please scoot up a little bit towards that
Sorry.
microphone so we make sure it's picking
I'm
up.
an AP specialist.
and what does that mean?
Accounts payable. I work for the same company as Joseph.
And what is your rate of pay?
22 an hour.
You work 40 hours a week,
Yes, ma'am.
and you have 3 children. By how many different men?
3.
And how much child support do you get?
I get child support 1 kid and $697.
$697 for what child?
1 child. And I don't get child support from the other 2.
What child do you get the 190?
Sailor, the
Okay.
baby.
And who is Sailor's father?
Nick Ellis.
And that's your youngest child?
Yes, ma'am.
And you were in fact pregnant with Sailor at the time that you married?
No,
Or right after you had just had the child?
I just had him. He was born in June and I got married in September.
Guys, for all of you men out there,
And what sort, you,
don't marry a woman who just gave birth to some other guy's dude or some other guy's kid. Just
and you
Start recording
have just
the-
settled a lawsuit on paternity with Mr. Ellis?
Yes,
When was that done?
February.
And what are the names and ages of your other children?
12 and 10. 12-year-old is Ryder. 10-year-old is Bryson.
How old are they?
Ryder's 12,
And Bryson is
10.
10.
And Sailor is 10 months,
10
almost.
months. When did your mother move into the home?
She started staying there in October.
October of 2023, right after y'all married in September, is that correct?
Right.
And what was the reason?
She was helping me with the kids, helping us with the kids.
How much does she pay?
so she gives birth to another man's child in June. They get married in September. I think she just testified that her mother moved in like August or September.
To live there?
She helps with the kids, so in return, she gets to stay there.
Okay, she helps with your children.
Stays for free.
Right, that, yeah.
Okay. And so you're just giving her free room and board?
For helping me watch the kids.
What does she do for a living?
She works at Walmart.
Mother-in-law works at
So
Walmart.
she's capable of paying something to live there.
Well, she's helping me watch the kids.
In your lawsuit with Mr. Ellis, did you claim any work-related childcare expenses?
Yes.
You did.
No, childcare, what are you talking about?
Childcare expenses, when you calculate child support.
Oh, no.
You didn't
No.
claim any work-related childcare expenses?
No.
This was Nicholas Ellis.
It
Yes.
is.
Let me give you the time frame too. So this, I don't like this layout, but I thought it would be best for this. So this hearing, I think, is in like January or February. So she gives birth in June. You'll hear later. They move in August. They get married in September. The divorce filing is December. Now this hearing is in January.
I know Mr. Nicholas Ellis. He grew up with my children. I haven't seen him or had any contact with him in the last 20 years, probably. So I just want to make everyone aware of the fact that there is some connection. He played on a soccer team with my son and
Yes, sir.
daughter for a while. If that creates a problem, I'll be glad to address that.
We waive any conflict, Your Honor.
All right.
Did you, at the point in time, did you admit to your husband that you only married?
Oh, because I was trying to get it so you asked what the tall is. I named it tall because I saved the video as a vertical video, and I was trying to get it so it would just be a vertical video, but YouTube wouldn't let me post it that way. It only let me post it wide, so that's why this whole layout thing is weird.
him for financial security?
No.
You sure about that?
Yes.
That's your statement under oath?
Yes.
I don't know.
Did you
this-
threaten at the point in time when he told you he wanted a divorce, did you threaten to throw yourself against the wall so that you could get an order of protection and kick him out of the house?
No.
You allowing your children to, have you allowed any of your minor children to operate any motor?
So she did not throw her stuff against the wall and threaten to get an order of protection.
Vehicle in and around the property,
I let my son drive down the driveway.
and he ran over shrubs and things, is that correct?
1 shrub.
And that's your 12-year-old or your
She let her son drive the car down the driveway and he ran over a shrub. One shrub, not multiple.
10-year-old.
I let my 10-year-old.
Your 10-year-old's driving a vehicle that caused some slight damage to the property. Is that correct?
He drove down the driveway and ran over a shrub.
Did you replace it?
No, not yet.
Okay. Do you allow your children to shoot arrows into the drywall of the
No.
home? You didn't sit there and videotape it and laugh
I
at it?
videotaped my son shooting an arrow into a cardboard box.
Not into the garage and damaging the property?
No.
Where are your children in school?
Ryder is in middle school.
Your Honor, I want to check the relevance. I mean, we're here for a motion for exclusive possession, and we're getting into, almost like we have a parenting plan. These children
No, Your Honor, I apologize. The pact is financially, where are the children in school? The issue, we want her to move, where the kids are going to school, whether they're homeschooled, whether they're in public school, how she's spending her money is the reason that I'm asking those questions.
Unfortunately, parties, even on a short-term marriage, bring something before the court regarding financial matters. Every aspect of their life becomes fair game. Full ruling objection.
So where are they in school?
Ryder's in middle school at Dixon Middle. Bryson is at Oakmont, and Sailor's a baby.
And your mother stays home and keeps him?
Yes.
Okay.
On Tuesdays and Thursdays because I have to go into the office.
And then otherwise you work from home?
Yes.
And where is the office located?
In Green Hills.
Do you have health insurance coverage through your employer?
I did. I have dental. I used to have dental. I haven't checked on
Who
that.
covers your children for health insurance?
The state.
You make $40,000 a year, live in a $700,000 home, and your children are on TennCare?
objection leading.
Adverse witness.
Adverse witness rule.
I don't think she's been established as an adverse witness. She's answering all Ms. Roberts' questions. She called her on
She's the
direct.
adverse party, so I'm going to assume or take judicial notice of the fact that an adverse party is an adverse party for purposes of the adverse party rule. Overruled.
Is that correct?
Yes.
It's not on Families First. When was the last?
So she's fully employed, lives in a $700,000 home, and gets state assistance.
Are they on Families First?
No.
They're just on TennCare.
Right.
When did you apply for TennCare?
Whenever I was single.
Beg pardon?
When I was single and not married. So it was prior to marriage that they were on it.
And
I
have
feel
you
like
updated it?
No, not yet.
Did you disclose that you had the availability of health insurance through your employer for your children?
No.
You still receiving food stamps too?
No.
When did you stop getting food stamps?
Several months ago.
When?
October, November.
October, November of 2023?
Yes, ma'am.
Was it time for you to re-up for your food stamps?
Yes. And I didn't qualify.
And you did not qualify, but you applied and tried to continue to get food stamps,
No,
correct?
I did not.
You did not fill out an application?
No, I did not fill out an application.
Have you contributed to the house payment?
No,
Why not?
because I'm paying for everything else.
What is everything else that you're paying for?
Groceries to stay in the house, and I pay for all my kids, groceries, clothes, and I filled out a form, basically showing what I do pay for.
Pay any of the utilities?
No.
Pay any insurance on the vehicle you're driving?
Yes,
You pay for your insurance
I pay for my insurance
and your vehicle?
on
What
my
kind of-
vehicle,
What kind of vehicle are you driving?
a Tahoe.
2021 Chevy Tahoe?
Yes, ma'am.
And how much are the payments on that?
A little over 1,000.
Who's making those payments?
I am.
When did you start making those payments?
2 months ago. I've made 3 payments so far. So 3 months now.
I'm making all the payments as of the last 3 months.
When did you purchase that vehicle?
August 22nd of 23.
You acknowledge that the down payment on the
Oh,
home.
it gets worse. This is a whole life lesson for any man out there. This is a whole life lesson. Okay, just pay attention to the factual details as these develop regarding who owns the house, who owns the cars.
Came from his separate funds, do you not?
I'm going to object. That calls for a legal conclusion.
I'm sorry.
I object. That calls for a legal conclusion as to what separate funds are.
I'll rephrase the question. Did you have any money before when the contract was made on this house?
I had my own money.
How much did you have?
At the time, I don't recall how much I had.
Did you pay $160,000 down on this house?
I don't recall.
You don't recall?
No, I didn't put money down on
Okay,
the
why
house.
did you say you don't recall?
Well, to your question before that,
Objection asked and answered.
no, I did not pay money on the house.
You know that your husband had money that he put down on this house that was not your money.
Right. After we were married, though, he paid money on the house.
And he paid for your attorney, for your paternity actions too, didn't he?
He helped pay for my attorney with Nick.
And how much was that?
I don't object. I think that's privilege.
Jack, on what basis?
Privilege? I mean, third party may have paid it. They're married.
And you're talking about attorney-client privilege?
Yeah, number one, I don't think it's relevant.
Now we're talking relevance instead of privilege.
Well, Judge, I think what a client pays an attorney, the third party pays it. You know,
So the husband paid for her attorney to go after child support from her baby daddy. That's what they're talking about.
I understand your point, Mr. Odell. And again, we're talking economics of two people who have been married for a short period of time. You will be able to ask questions of him regarding any expenditures he's made. And my understanding is that these questions are being asked to demonstrate the financial contributions each of them have made to the household. Because one of the motions that we have before the court today is the motion for exclusive possession of the marital residence, and that entails who's going to pay the mortgage for that. There's also a motion for a temporary division of marital debt, which is on the docket. So all of these issues are relevant on the issues that are before the court. She's not required to testify about any direct conversations that she may have with her attorney. But the question of if there were marital funds or his separate funds that were used to pay for her attorney, then for whatever relevance, I mean, whatever weight that is, I think it is relevant on the issue before the court.
Please repeat the question.
Who paid for your attorney?
Joseph did.
Did you ask him to do that?
He offered to help me out.
When you got sued?
I didn't get sued.
Did you file the paternity suit, or did Mr. Ellis sue? Did you?
We
sue
agreed
him?
upon it. I didn't get sued.
He didn't file a petition against you,
Yes.
so you got sued.
Okay, I didn't know I was being sued.
He filed a petition to establish paternity. Mr. Ellis did.
Okay.
Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you asked your husband for help in securing counsel for that. Is that correct?
He offered.
Have you ever contributed anything to, other than paying for your children, have you ever contributed anything to the mortgage, to the utilities, to the down payment on this house, or the payment of insurance or taxes on this house at all?
No, ma'am.
That's all.
Sir, you may question your client.
She gets up and walks away.
So you want to ask her questions now, or you want to wait about it?
Yeah, I'm gonna call her on the direct.
Now you can say.
Sorry.
And I would call Mr. Tootle.
Rule, if you'll come forward.
Here in Botnet back in September of 2023. Is that correct?
That's correct.
How long had you known her prior to y'all's marriage?
Roughly 7 years.
And
All right. So where do you guys think they met? Most of you said, or what she did. Most of you said like stripper, real estate agent. I think some of you said waitress.
y'all work at the same
We do.
company?
We do.
And what is your role at the company, at Envision?
I'm VP of Accounting Information Systems.
Were you her direct supervisor?
No,
And y'all became acquainted through your employment, is that correct?
I knew her prior to employment. I helped her get the job.
Okay, how did you know her prior to the employment?
I met her at her work when she worked at Twin Peaks
At where?
Twin
Twin
Peaks. Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks is a bar
Bar and restaurant.
She works at
restaurant,
Twin Peaks.
and we'll just leave it, why the name of that, but at any rate, you met her there and got her a job. Did you all start a romantic relationship at that point in time?
I helped her get a job probably about 2 years ago. We kind of hung out some in between there, from the time of meeting till she got the job at our company.
And when did y'all become romantically involved?
Throughout the time I've known her.
Throughout the 7 years they've known each other, while he's an accountant, whatever VP, and she's a waitress at Twin Peaks. They've had relations several times throughout the 7 years.
Instances.
And she was having relations with other people during that time too?
section leading.
Correct.
And you,
Well, the question is, sustained, it was leading, restate your question.
are you aware of whether or not, did y'all have an exclusive relationship?
We did not.
At what point in time did marriage come into the picture?
Roughly somewhere in July, after she had her child.
Okay. Did you ask her to marry? Was it just a, hey, let's do this? I mean, what was the?
We decided to kind of to date, and then as we started dating, we decided that after having each other for a period of time, that was the right move to make at that time, because she stated she was in love and wanted to be with me.
And as a result of that, where were you living at the time?
In Franklin,
And where was she living?
Mads, they may or may not ask
Did
that
she
at
have a
some
home?
point.
she had an apartment.
And did you have a home?
I did.
One that you owned?
No, sorry, I was in an apartment as well.
Okay, you rented and she rented. is
She
that
rented and I
correct?
rented, correct.
And so y'all decided to get in, She professed her love and you hers, and y'all decided to get married. And did you start looking for a place to live?
Started looking for a place prior to that, somewhere in July. We talked about looking for a place, so we were looking prior to being married.
Okay. And you found a home on Yellow Creek Highway.
Correct.
And it's a very nice home. And y'all first, did you enter into a contract prior
And
to?
don't leave it with us.
When did you enter into a contract to purchase the property?
In August, and I put down earnest money in August.
How much did you put in?
It's $10,000 in earnest money
And then when was the closing schedule?
for September 26th,
And y'all married when?
September 4th.
And on the 26th, was there a closing on that piece of property?
Correct, there
Was
was.
it placed in joint names?
Yes,
They put the property in both names.
Was there money put down on the house?
roughly 160 plus the 10,000
And where was the source of that money?
came from my income. 120 was in savings, 40 I took a loan against my 401k.
Is there still a loan on the 401k?
Yes. Comes out of my paycheck month.
How much did y'all purchase the home for?
It was 760,
And what is the monthly payments?
$760,000.
4,200. That doesn't include insurance and taxes.
And that's going to be the next, was insurance and taxes escrowed in?
It was not escrowed in.
So other than when you purchased it in September, the down
About
payment
an
that you
hour,
made, are you familiar with any other increases in value or any improvements to the property that's not been made that would increase it significantly from what the purchase price was?
Hey,
There's been no improvements to the property.
Did both of you sign the mortgage?
hey, Stray.
I'm the only one on the mortgage.
So he's the only
know
one on the
why?
mortgage, but they put
It
both.
was better to
people on the
qualify
credit.
for interest rate under my income than using both.
So even though the house is in joint names, the mortgage is only in your name?
Correct.
Now, shortly after, you know how much she makes?
Roughly
What is that?
around 22. I think when she got the job it was around 21 and there's been raises since then.
And how much do you make, sir?
Around to 190.
You've assisted me,
And that's without bonus, but bonus isn't guaranteed. So
you have assisted me in filling out an income and expense statement. Is that correct?
that's correct.
Could you pass this to me?
He's a VP accounts. He's basically a VP of an accounting, of the accounting wing of some company. I don't remember what the company is. And she's a secretary there because he got her a job there.
The officer's going to pass you one, and Your Honor, we'll mark this for ID purposes at this point in time.
Hey, Gigi.
If you review that, does that adequately and reflect what your income and your expenses are?
Yes,
So again, what you're looking at is you gross about $14,000 a month. Is that right?
yes,
And then the expenses that are spelled out, the rent, the mortgage is $4,200. Is that correct?
that's correct.
And how did you come up with the utilities? Are those just an average of what?
That was the average of what we'd had thus far. But again, this was in January, so there's only a couple of months to average it.
Right, so again, you've got the electricity and the gas. You have gas heat, correct?
We have gas, electric, water. Yes,
Okay. And so again, with the summer and the air conditioning things, those are likely to go up. Is that correct?
Section leading.
Do you know what
Legal
these?
ones.
I'll rephrase it. Do you think that these will be consistent or will they fluctuate?
gas will probably go down, electric will probably go up.
Why have you got wife's telephone? Is that just
At
her?
the time I filed, I was paying her phone bill. She used my credit card multiple times after I paid it once to pay it.
And then again, the rest of these are average expenses. Is that right?
That's right. And the only thing on here I haven't been paying is the Tahoe. I stopped paying it in January.
And that's the 1,050, and that's the vehicle
correct.
she's driving. Had you previously paid it?
I've been paying it since we bought it.
And when was it purchased?
We purchased it in August.
Right before the marriage?
Right before the
Whose
marriage.
name is it in?
It's in both of our names because she couldn't qualify on her own for it
And
with
so,
a good interest rate.
and so again, looking at that, you're basically barely breaking even if you take away the $1,000.
I was until she started paying her bills.
Okay, until she started paying her bills. Okay. Tell me what's led to you file, Your Honor, we'll move that in as the next exhibit.
This
What's
is the
led
first
you-
exhibit, is it not?
Yes, that first one. What's led to you filing this divorce, sir?
We started having issues in October, which was relatively shortly after
They got married in September and started having issues in October.
being married. She even told me that her therapist and her had discovered that through their therapy that she wasn't really in love with me and that she
Do you think?
wanted consistency and stability for her kids and thought that she could love me over time. At that point in time, we talked about getting a divorce. We tried to work it out multiple times and we kind of wound up back at the same spot.
So she had to go to therapy to figure out she didn't love you?
Objection leading.
Abstain.
Still a good question.
Has she contributed anything financially to this marriage?
Other than groceries for her and her kids, no.
What about has she made any threats towards you?
Multiple.
Tell me about those.
We got into an argument,
Verbal argument, physical argument, what?
verbal argument. I'm not a physical person. And we talked about, in that argument, divorce came up and she wanted me out of the house. She said she would throw herself against the wall and call the cops, say I did it. That was one occasion. Another occasion, she threatened, or she said she'd call the cops. So I said I'd come to the house, wait for the cops to get there. They never came. Recently, as 2 weeks ago, she said that she was going to call the cops, that I'd hit her in front of her 12-year-old, which obviously I didn't. So multiple times this happened, to the point where I had to get a camera for the room I stay in to make sure that anything would be videoed to show that I'm not a physical person.
And is she asking you to assist her with the children?
When the marriage was going okay, I helped take them to school. I helped buy food. I did multiple things.
And have you asked her have there been issues where there has been damage done to the marital residence at the hands of the children?
I was lied to about what had happened. Cabinet door was broken. She told me she fell holding the baby, and that's what broke the cabinet. Come to find out, the 12-year-old told me that he broke it. He didn't know that I'd been lied to about that. When I asked her about the train front yard that got run over, she said she was driving. And then, of course, there's other things that have happened, but it's always implied that I'm going to pay to fix it.
Okay.
No, none of the kids are him. Hey, Lefty, are his. So he married a woman who had 2 children from 2 different men. And when they started getting together and got serious, she was pregnant with a 3rd child from a 3rd man. She gave birth in June. And then they got married in September. And he put her name on a $760,000 house. But he holds all the debt. And then they started having problems a month into their marriage. He filed for divorce 3 months into their marriage. And now she wants the house sold, and she wants a bunch of money from him and all this stuff. She wants half the value of the house and all that good stuff.
If they've been, I may have misunderstood. Are they shooting bows and arrows or something?
He was shooting bow and arrow at in the garage at a box, but of course accuracy is not always on, so there are multiple holes from that. Another thing that kind of got me a little bit, I guess, I came home one day, we were in a fight, and they were going to do a fire in the fire pit that we have, even though we're in the middle of a drought and a heavy windstorm. And when I said not to do it, I was told that not to talk to our kids all that day.
Did they?
They did not start the fire, thankfully.
And you care for her children.
I do.
The fact of finding out that there's possibly untruths that are being told and that don't want her children put in the middle of that, do you?
Not at all.
Do you feel safe living there in the home while she's there?
I don't think she would do anything to me physically, but I do worry that if she were to, after multiple threats, that at some point the threats are going to come true for her, saying that she'll call the cops and say I did something, which I would never do.
And how many occasions has she threatened that?
3 different. She's threatened to call the cops 4 times, but 3 of them she was trying to imply that I'd done something.
Okay. And have you ever been physically abusive to her?
No.
You ever laid hands on her in any type of an aggressive or inappropriate manner?
No.
Her mother's living there.
Correct.
Is she contributing anything financially?
She watches the kids and helps clean the house, but nothing financially.
Was there a discussion about that prior to her moving in?
I was told she was coming to visit. And then after she'd been there for a little bit,
Hey, can my wife come and stay with us just for a little visit? And then she never leaves. This is the woman who's allegedly raised the wife in this situation.
I basically said that she was going to stay there through the winter because it's cold. She has a pull-behind trailer that she has property on, or she has property she could put it on. But there was never really a formal discussion of how long she was going to be there.
But is she bathing and fixing her meals and
Yes.
sleeping there?
Yes.
She contributing anything to the utilities?
No.
Is your wife contributing anything to the utilities or to the upkeep and the maintenance of the home?
No.
Are you capable of maintaining the home and continuing to pay for it?
Yes.
If the court determines that she's entitled to any equity as a result of it, do you have the availability to buy her out of whatever the court deems would be her appropriate share?
Not at this time. It's all in the home.
Everything is in the home, is that correct?
That's correct. My entire down payment is.
Other than the threats and the non-contribution financially, is there any other reason why you want her and the children and her mother out?
No.
That's all. Thank you. Now, Mr. Earl's gonna have some questions for you.
They get into some debate about his income and stuff like that, which is, I'm not going to skip forward though.
Mr. Tootle, you've known Ms. Botnick for years.
Roughly 7 or 8.
You got married September 4th, 2023.
Correct.
You knew she had an infant child at that time, correct?
Correct.
You knew she had 2 other children, ages 12 and 10, correct?
Correct.
And you knew they would be residing in the house with you and your wife, correct? You did?
Yes.
All right. So you didn't have a problem with that?
Yeah, the male attorney is the wife's attorney. The female attorney is the husband's attorney.
And you testified that you like her kids?
Yes.
Now, with respect to her mother, you and Ms. Botnick had a conversation about her mother coming to live there, correct?
Coming to visit.
And then subsequently, you had a conversation about her mother continuing to stay there, and you agreed to it.
We agreed she could stay until winter was over.
So it's your testimony that you and Ms. Botnick had a discussion where you agreed that her mother would just come there for a very short period of time until winter. Is that your testimony?
Yeah, my testimony is that we talked about it being newlywed. I agreed to do it. It would upset my wife.
What did you specifically agree to? When was her mother supposed to move out?
They said after winter, so I'm assuming after winter is March, April.
That's an assumption, isn't it?
It is an assumption.
After winter.
Right.
All right. Do you like Ms. Botnick's mother?
I do. We get along.
So no issue there. You agree that she helps out the children and that you like the children.
Correct.
I want to talk about this shooting of a bow and arrow in the garage. Okay. You testified that, who was it? Which child was it?
It was Ryder.
Okay. So Ryder sets up this box, which was that like a little target?
I'm assuming, yes.
Is this kind of toy bow and arrow? I mean, it's not like a compound bow that,
It's a real arrow,
okay,
but
so
it was a makeshift bow that he made.
like appropriate for a child.
I mean, it's a stick with, I don't know what's appropriate for a child. Appropriate for a child would not be a real arrow with a live head on it, right?
Okay. Well, describe the arrow then.
It's an arrow that you would use to hunt deer.
Okay. So it's just got a normal end on it, correct? It's like a small arrow.
No, it's a real full-size arrow that you would use to hunt deer with. Not a crossbow arrow, not a toy arrow. It's a real hunting arrow.
Okay. So Ryder is shooting at this target, correct?
Correct.
And he misses, and the arrow goes into the wall. Is that correct?
I'm assuming based on the holes in the wall behind the target, I was not present.
Okay. There are 2 holes.
There's 5.
Okay. 5. Describe the holes.
They're the holes of an arrow.
Okay.
So pencil and what's the size of an arrow? Size of a pencil.
Size of the end of that pen, maybe?
No, bigger than that.
How big? You just said a pencil.
I'd say an arrow is what, maybe 2 centimeters?
But you just testified like a pencil.
Yeah, I'm guessing they're similar size.
Okay. So is the hole about the size of a number 2 pencil?
This is in Tennessee, by the way. So that's why you guys know this judge. She's been on a lot of his hearings and trials and stuff are streamed. So he's in Tennessee. I'm not sure where in Tennessee, but somewhere.
Roughly.
Okay.
I didn't measure.
You would agree with me that if it's 2 holes or 5 holes, that's a pretty easy fix.
I don't feel
It's a pretty
sorry
easy
for him,
fix.
Cass.
My concern was not the holes. My
We're
concern
using
is
this as
safety
a
of
life lesson,
doing things like that inside
not
the
to
house.
be this guy.
Well, he had a box with a target on it inside the garage with a wall on the back side of it, correct?
Shooting from a range of about 2 feet where things can, ricochet off.
That didn't happen, did it?
I wasn't there, so I don't know 100%.
How do you know he's shooting from 2 feet?
Because I saw it on the video.
Okay. So Mr. Tootle, do you have a copy of your income expense statement you testified to? You have it in front of you?
Yes.
Okay. So you testified that you make gross approximately $190,000 a year.
That's salary without bonus. And bonus is
Okay.
not guaranteed though.
Okay, so you
So
make,
this is based on my guaranteed income.
okay, so you make more than $190,000?
Yes,
Okay.
on a good year.
Okay, well, let's talk last year. What was your bonus last year?
Bonus was 40% of my salary.
Give me a number.
40% of 180 at the time. So I don't know, what's that, 70,000
So you got $70,000 bonus, so
minus taxes. 35%.
Okay, but you said 180,000 and a $70,000 bonus.
Right.
That's $250,000.
But I don't get it at the end of the year. Right.
Okay.
It's paid quarterly, just for the record.
When's the last time you didn't get a bonus?
Well, 40% is not what you get all the time. Sometimes you get 20%.
That wasn't my question. When's the last time you didn't get a bonus?
I haven't had a
Everyone talking about, like, do you feel sorry for him? Do you not feel sorry for him? Is he a simp? Did he get what it was coming? At the very end, the judge makes some comments, and they are absolutely hilarious.
it's been a couple of years.
So you didn't get a bonus 2 years ago?
I'm saying it's been years,
Years.
Yeah.
Okay. Think a decade?
maybe.
Okay. Mr. Tootle, every year you get a sizable bonus, don't you? You're under
Yeah,
oath.
yeah, sizable. Yeah.
So when you say bonus is not guaranteed, that's a little misleading, isn't it?
No, that's the terms of the bonus. The
Okay.
bonus is 40%.
For
40% is if we hit max terms of the company.
Okay.
That's not misleading.
Your track record is that you've gotten bonus for years and years
Yes.
without fail, correct?
Mr. Erdl, just to tell you, I don't control my bonus. It's based on company performance.
I understand you don't control it, but I'm asking you a question about
I
the
get-
historic
Yes,
bonuses
I
you've
get
received.
bonuses year after year.
So when you fill out this income expense statement, you've got $14,191, correct?
Correct.
My math is if I multiply that by 12, I get $169,092.
At the time, that was my salary.
At what time?
At the time I filed this.
Okay.
I've had a raise since then to push me up close to 190. And that's salary. I was told to fill this out without bonus.
Okay, well, last year, a minute ago, you testified that last year you made $180,000 instead of $190 and a $70,000 bonus.
Yeah, so I'm off a little bit on my number here.
You are, well, you're off quite a bit, aren't you?
I'd say, what, I said 180, 169?
You're off about $80,000.
No, 80, that's bonus. And I just told you under oath that
Well, you said this is based on last year, and last year you said you made 180
No, this-
plus 70,000.
this is based, and when I filled this out, it was based on the paycheck I was getting at that time. I've gotten a raise since then.
It says April 2024.
But that's not when I filled this out and submitted it to my attorney. I filled it out in January.
So you're making 169,000 in January? Base
It was
salary?
170, 180, somewhere in there.
Well, you said, again, last year you said I made 180,000 plus 70,000 in bonus.
Roughly 250, yeah.
So last year you made 180,000, and then
All right, just so you guys know, when you're talking about a status quo or this temporary divorce, debt and asset division, you're talking about is making sure that the bills get paid, the lights stay on, and things like that, and who's going to pay for what. That's essentially what they're doing here. But in addition to that, so that's sort of like the standard MO. And that, but in addition to that, she wants exclusive use of the home and to compel it to be sold. So that's really what the issue is. But because there's this underlying status quo position, who's going to pay for what bills, they need to go through everyone's income to determine how much everyone makes. And then on top of that, what all the bills are. So that's why there's this tedious little arguing regarding the incomes, which isn't really the heart and soul of this. I'm just going to keep it playing through though, but that's essentially what's happening here.
as we said here today, you're making 190. At some point in between, you made 169,000.
No,
Well, can you explain that? I mean,
I pulled this right off of my payment. My payroll.
fair to say you make 250,000 a year at least.
Not every year.
Fair to say you made that last year.
Yes.
Bottom line, Mr. Tootle, this is not an accurate statement, is it?
No, it's accurate in terms of expenses and what I pay out every month.
Okay, but income's not accurate.
Income's off by maybe, what, a couple $100?
Just let's do a little producing in the background here or live on stream. Wendy H, if you can get me those documents from John Yates, we'll do a stream about the Sister Wives lawsuit. I'll bring John on if he wants to sit with me and talk about it, and we can go over that. That would be fun.
Seems like it's off more than that.
I'm going to object to the soliloquy or the conversations that he wants to have. He wants to ask a question.
Your Honor, he's not answering the question. He has testified that last year he made 180,000. He's making 190 now. His income.
When I said 180, that was based on salary alone.
Mr. Tootle, if you'd be quiet when we're talking, okay?
So, Your Honor, he has testified that last year he made a base salary of
I don't know what Tennessee is regarding the 401k. In Michigan, it would be only the marital portion, so the dates that they're married.
salary is 190,000 with no guaranteed bonus. he said that he filled this statement out in January, and his income was accurately reflected on here at that time being 169,000. That doesn't add up. It just doesn't add up. And 180 last year, 190 now, and somehow during the meantime, it dipped down to 169 in January. And that's just my question.
Restate your question.
Okay, Mr. Tootle, did you testify earlier that last year you made 180,000 base salary approximate plus 70,000 in bonus?
Yes, I said approximate.
Okay, did you testify on direct questioning by Ms. Roberts that your current salary is 190,000
Approximate
plus bonus?
plus bonus.
Did you testify when I asked you about this income and expense statement, and in particular, your gross salary, your gross income, did you testify that in January, the number reflected of $14,091 was accurate?
Yes,
Would you agree with me that $14,091 annualized is $169,092?
I can't do that in my head. If you've done the calculation on it, I'm assuming you're correct.
Okay.
I have no problem sharing my salary.
What's your explanation for your testimony in the discrepancy in your income at 3 different points in time?
Well, again, I said approximate 180. I could go back and look at my salary to see if it matched this exactly. I've had a raise since then, so I know it's approximately 190 now. I'm not afraid to show my financial statement to you so you can look at it to see
Well,
what it is.
You've sworn under oath this is your financial statement, an accurate depiction of your income and expenses.
Now, again, I'm going to object to the form of question. There's been no financial statement that has been admitted into evidence, and there's been no proof stating that he has submitted a financial statement into evidence. It is an income and expense statement.
Same as to the characterization of an income and expense statement. As a financial statement, it's not the same.
Mr. Tootle, your income's not correct on this income and expense statement that you presented to the court, correct?
I would have to do the numbers and look at my actual paycheck.
All right.
Move on, man. Move on. I'll put a link in, unless John can put a link into my Lego. I'll put a link in. Generally.
So, Mr. Tootle, I want to talk about the house, marital residence. So you all closed on that house on September 26, 2023. Do you agree with me on that?
Yes,
I just want to provide you a copy, asking you to identify it.
Judge, we stipulate and agree, and it's been testified that the home is in joint names.
Which I didn't ask the warranty deed to be the next exhibit.
All right, make a warranty deed exhibit 2.
So when you all got married, September 4th, you knew what your wife's income was, correct?
yes,
She'd been fully transparent with you about the money she made.
there's one item that was not transparent, and that was she got income from her dad passing away. She told me it was roughly $700 a month that she was getting, which she now states she no longer gets. So yes, I knew. Outside of that, I didn't know child support. I know that one child, Bryson, was getting child support roughly $700 a month but there was problems with it being paid.
Okay. Well, you knew that you made substantially more money than she did, correct?
Correct.
So you all bought this house in September of 2023, correct?
Correct.
And you knew when you bought it that you were the one that had the ability to pay the debt, correct?
Yeah, I do not. I planned on paying for house and bills, but not her bills.
Okay, I'm talking about the mortgage payment, all right?
Yeah.
Okay, when you and she bought it and you all put her name on the deed because you wanted to jointly own the house, right? That was the intention.
The reason we put it on the house because we were being married, and I thought that it was going to be something that would last.
You made that decision.
Yes.
You wanted her name to be on the deed with you. You wanted to own this property together, correct?
Correct.
And this $700,000 to $800,000 house that you bought, you knew that it was being bought because you had the ability to pay for it, correct?
Correct. And I
You
thought
weren't
that,
relying upon this.
Yeah, again, if he could finish his answer before Mr. Odle starts questioning him again.
Please let him answer the question fully before you begin answering.
Yeah.
Asking the next question.
yeah, the reason I put it on there, I thought that my money for the down payment would be considered a separate party going into it and coming out of it, only to learn that it's not, obviously.
Okay, so you agree that house is a marital asset, correct?
Yeah, I think
He learned the hard way that the down payment he put in, because it was post marriage, is not a separate asset. I don't know how the laws in Tennessee work, but that seems like it sucks for him.
And the equity in it is,
And again, calling for a legal conclusion, as Mr. Odom has pointed out earlier, and I would object for asking my client to draw a legal conclusion.
I'm sorry, repeat that.
Objection, calling for a legal conclusion. Same objection that Mr. Odom made.
so the rule, John.
I overruled his objection. I thought I overruled his objection. State your question one more time, please.
Mr. Tootle, you agree that the equity in the house, that's a marital asset, correct?
If there is,
That's what I'm,
I think that does call for a legal conclusion because there was a difference between that question and the question that was asked by Ms. Roberts. You're asking him if it's a marital asset, and that is a legal term that the court has to determine what the marital assets are. If there is equity in the property that came, I think the question Ms. Roberts asked was, is the equity or the $160,000, whatever was paid down on the house, did that come from his separate funds? That was the question she asked, that you objected to as a legal conclusion. It was not a legal conclusion in this court's opinion to ask someone if a down payment came from separate funds of that person. You're asking him if it's a marital asset, which is a legal term used by the court in determining what are the marital and separate assets. That's the reason I'm sustaining and why I see a difference in the two.
Mr. Tootle, you agree that you and your wife own this house that you live in currently together?
she's on the title, yes.
You all equally own it?
I mean, I guess by the title, yes, but there's no equal to it.
What a fool. Get a prenup at least.
I'm gonna talk to you. So you said your wife's threatened you
Yes, multiple times.
since the divorce was filed?
Once was prior, back in roughly late October, early November. I had to go get a hotel room for 2 nights to let things cool down at the advice of my friend who was an attorney. Then there was another time somewhere in November where we were disagreeing on potentially what the divorce would do. Then there was a time just 2 weeks ago in front of her 12-year-old.
This divorce filed January 26, 2024, correct?
Right.
Okay. You and your wife had sex since then?
Once.
So you weren't too scared of her?
He still can't resist it.
Like I
You
said,
agreed to
I
have
was
sex with her?
like I said, I'm not scared of her. What I was scared of is I'm afraid that she would say that something happened, that nothing did happen.
He still can't resist it. This woman's got a hold on this man's.
And the reason is because I think she's using that to try and get a temporary restraining order to get me out of the house.
You had sex with her. Since you filed the divorce, you've had sex with her?
Yes, one time.
I approach the witness, Your Honor.
Right?
Mr. Tootle, was your wife's birthday yesterday?
It was.
His wife's birthday was
If
the
your
day
wif's
before the
birthday.
hearing.
What did you do for your wife's birthday?
I got her flowers, a cake, and a card.
You got her an elaborate flower arrangement, didn't you?
Wasn't that expensive? No.
It looked pretty nice.
It's nice, but doesn't mean it was expensive.
So you got a nice flower arrangement. Did you give her that card?
Did.
Can you look at the card, please? Can you read the card? Not your inscription on it. I'd like for you to read the card from the beginning to the end.
Ways you're like coffee. You're awfully hot. You're nice to hold. You get my insides warming. You pick me up. You smell good too. You're mildly habit forming. You're just right. I wouldn't change a single thing about you. And most of all, I wouldn't want to face a day without you. Happy birthday.
So he gives her a birthday card, equating her to a drug, which I feel is very accurate.
Okay, that's what the card said. What was your inscription? What did you handwrite?
I said, no, things haven't been the best, but I love you and you deserve the best.
All right, make that card next exhibit.
That card reflected quite a bit of flattery toward your wife, didn't it?
I got the card because she likes coffee and I thought it was funny. Do I love her? Yes, I do love her because I do care about her. Am I in love? It's different.
You love her. You say she threatened you, and you want her kicked out of the house. Gave her a card yesterday that was very flattering. Were those lies?
No, I do love her.
So again, the timeline for anyone who's just coming in new. She had her third child with a third man in June. These guys, husband and wife, were already kind of screwing around. They got married in September. In October, she realized and approached him and says, I don't really love you. I just wanted a stable environment for my kids. Then he files. Oh, by the way, they bought a house after the marriage in September, a $760,000 home. He put her name on it, but he holds all the debt. Then in October, they're fighting. He has to move out at some point in November. He files for divorce in January. This is like, and apparently they smoosh again in January. He files for divorce in December, so they get it on after he files for divorce. She's threatening him. Her kids are breaking a bunch of stuff in the house. She wants half the house equity. She wants the house to be sold. And the day before the hearing, he gives her that birthday card. So that's kind of where we are.
That's all questions I have.
Mr. Tootle, how do you get paid?
Get paid bi-weekly,
How do you get paid by your bonuses?
quarterly, based on company performance.
So you get a separate check quarterly.
Yes.
And do you know how much that is before you get it?
No.
So who
And
said
have
we
you
have?
had a quarterly payment?
So the woman is completely a gold digger. That's why I named it this way. But the guy is absolutely a simp. He hooked up with her on and off for 7 years while she was working at Twin Peaks. And then, so as she's getting pregnant and hooking up with other guys, he's hooking up with her. He knows about all this. He still agrees to marry her. So I'm not on anyone's side except logic. People, please take this as an educational stream on what not to do.
For 2024 yet?
No.
You get a paycheck stub. You get a guaranteed paycheck,
Yes.
correct? And is that what that income and expense statement was reflective of?
Yes.
Is that your guaranteed income to pay your monthly expenses and living
Yes.
expenses? Is that why it's filled out that way?
Yes. And again, I'm happy to share it.
Yeah, she's the worst in here.
Are they on a fiscal year or on a calendar year?
We're calendar, January to December.
So again, after the end of March, that ended a quarter, they'll calculate, and then you'll get a
Payment in May.
in May.
Right.
For the March quarter.
Right, and I just confirmed, I didn't get anything in, for December that quarter because our company went through bankruptcy. And as a retention measure, they paid bonuses out early, which was paid sometime in May of last year, which was part of the money I used for the down payment.
So May of 2023, you received a bonus,
I received a bonus.
and that was the last bonus you received from your company.
That's correct, until I get paid one again in May.
And if the company meets its requirements and does that.
That's correct.
And then that was the money you used as a down payment.
That's correct.
Okay. And again, did you receive anything for December?
I have not received anything for December.
You anticipate receiving anything for the calendar year, any more money for the calendar year of 2023?
Nothing for 2023. I was prepaid for it.
I believe that's all. Thank you, sir.
What do you
All
say?
right. So now it's her case in chief. It's her opportunity to call witnesses. And I believe the first witness that's called by her attorney is her. So she's back on the stand again. If you guys missed the wife at the beginning, this is going to get good.
I sleep upstairs.
Where does she sleep?
Downstairs in her room, or in the master bedroom.
What do you want to do with this house?
My intention would be to keep it.
You want to keep the house?
I would like to keep it.
And if I know what your concerns are about her remaining in the house, let's say that there's an order down of the court that restricts your conduct and her conduct towards each other in the house. Is there any way you would feel safe in living in the house with her?
Yeah, my safety's not a question. I feel safe.
Well, the false charges, I guess, would be the thing.
Yeah, I feel better now that I have a camera in there to make sure nothing happens.
This dude still wants her in
Anybody
the
else have
house.
anything?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. You can sit down. We'll take our noon recess for lunch until 1:30.
Cell phone, my
All right. So it skips around a bit. I don't have everything, but she's back on. This is direct examination from her attorney during their case in chief. But he still obviously so wants her in the house.
gas. Do you want me to list the amounts too?
Yeah, or that, well, yes.
Okay. And then cell phone, I pay $450. My fuel, gas for my car is $320, and my car insurance is $468. And food and groceries a month for us is $1,200 roughly. And laundry, cleaning supplies is about $350, and cleaning, personal care $400, and entertainment is about $489. And my 401k is $117.37.
Okay, I want to go through each one of those.
Okay.
Your car payment is on the SUV And what is that vehicle?
Tahoe.
And
You have a copy that you'd like for me to look at?
I'm sorry,
Because
Judge.
Obviously, it's a lot more difficult for me to follow along with what's being said if I'm not looking at it. You gonna take a picture of it?
I am, Judge. I'm a copy short.
Just let the clerk run can't we just run a photocopy of what?
I can run him a copy.
You can go ahead and ask, but obviously, we'll run a photocopy and give you back the original.
I thought I had an extra copy, 3 copies.
Just for future reference, it's always beneficial if you're asking a witness about a document that you're going through a lot of detail on. It's always helpful to give the judge a copy of it so that I can understand it, because listening to it and when you two are going over it, kind of flies over my head.
Well, she's very
My
experienced.
apologies, Judge.
apparently.
Sorry.
Ms. Botnick, I'm just going to move on to something else, then come back to that. Okay, so you and your husband married in September.
Yes,
Okay.
I'll check it out.
Following
man.
the marriage, was a house purchased.
right.
And you've continued to reside there until the present day.
Yes,
Are you and your husband living there together?
yes.
If the court denies the motion for exclusive possession that's been filed by your husband and puts parameters in place relative to you and your husband continuing to cohabitate there, will you abide by all such?
Yes, I can respect that, what he needs.
Ms. Botnick, going back to the income expense statement, the car payment, which was number 1, see that?
Yes,
Okay.
sorry.
It's $1,034.27. Okay, that is a payment on what vehicle?
The Chevy Tahoe.
Do you primarily drive that vehicle?
I'm the only one that drives that vehicle primarily, yes.
Who are the titled owners to that vehicle?
Me and Jody.
And who is obligated on the indebtedness owed and secured by the vehicle?
Jody.
How long have you been making that payment?
I'm the past 3 months. So I've made 3 payments total.
So moving forward, are you willing to timely make that payment?
Yes,
The second line item is a cell phone.
right.
Can you explain what that comprises?
My 2 kids have cell phones, and then Sailor has an iPad, and then my cell phone. So that's why it's kind of pricey.
And have you historically made those cell phone payments, or has your husband?
We off and on. Sometimes I need help.
So
This
he has
previous
paid it.
time he has paid it.
Okay. Are you willing moving forward to continue?
Jung, this trial is, so this isn't a trial. This is a preliminary hearing on a status quo. It's basically dividing up the finances and what are we going to do with this house pending the outcome of the divorce. So it's not an actual trial. This is early stages. So when I file for divorce, what I often do is file what's called an ex parte status quo order. And the judge will issue that. It just basically says whatever the parties have been doing, they continue to do to preserve all the assets and everything and make sure things don't get shut off. But if another party says, no, I'm out of the house, I want him to pay all of it because I'd moved out, you can have a similar hearing on that. And what she wants is she wants exclusive use of the marital home, and she wants to force a sale of it. Now, she doesn't want to wait until the divorce is over. She wants it sold now so she can get money in, apparently, and then live there without him there. So that's why they're having this evidentiary hearing. So that's what's going on here. It's not a trial. It's very early in the case. This is, I think, took place in like January or February. The case was filed in December. So this is just preliminary matters. Just what are we going to do while the rest of the case is resolved?
Making that payment yourself.
Yes.
And to be solely responsible for it.
Yes.
What is the next line item? Automobile fuel?
Right. And that's I have to drive to Green Hills. And so it racks up the gas a little bit more. And so that's for the month.
Is that for work?
For work, yes. Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Now, the automobile insurance, is that for the Tahoe?
Right. Just for the Tahoe.
Have you historically been making that payment?
He's helped me, but yes, I am now.
Are you willing to continue making that payment timely moving into the future?
Yes.
Food and groceries, can you describe what that is?
I make dinner every night. I don't eat out ever. And so that's for the whole month.
And that is, does that include the food that you purchase for your 3 children?
I am
Right.
not,
And my mom, I feed her too.
I am not monetized, by the way, but if you guys are so generous and you want to give me something, you can always cash at me it's at the banner below.
The remaining 4 items, have you historically paid those yourself?
Yes, I have.
Now, in addition to your income that you earn through your employment, what other monthly income do you receive is reflected in that footnote at the bottom?
I get child support for Sailor and Bryson. And so Bryson's is irregular. And then Sailor, I get $687 a month from Nick. And
Okay,
then-
now, let me stop you there. The child support for Bryson, you
Right.
said what do you mean? It's
So
irregular?
it changes because his dad changes jobs quite a bit and it's garnished out of his wages in Texas. So every time he switches a job and he doesn't report his new job, the child support stops. So he switches quite a bit, several times a year. And so
So YouTube has said that my content on this channel is not the type that they want to monetize. I don't know why. I've applied several times and they're saying, nope, it's not the type of content that we want to monetize. And I know other law tubers or true crime people have been having some issues. They're already monetized, but they're having some issues with demonetization of certain streams and stuff. So I don't know what's going on with YouTube, but that's what's happening. Oh, sorry. I don't know what to tell you. But
That's
I
why it's
appreciate you
so
being here and chatting away.
consistent.
Share the channel.
And the
man.
final item in the footnote, you've identified as renewal income is $599.40, reduces monthly. Can you describe what that is?
So my dad sold insurance when he was alive, and when he passed away, I get an income from that, sort of like a retirement. And so monthly, I get an income from that, but it's reduces every month as people pass away because it was a renewal income. So it goes away slowly. So it used to be 800, then it just slowly decreases. So at a certain point, it'll be gone.
Okay, so was your dad an insurance agent?
He was.
Okay, and did he have a book of policies?
Right.
Insurance policies? And do those insurance policies expire or move to other agents over time? And is that what causes it to reduce?
No, it's policies on people. So if he had a life insurance policy on someone and they pass away, then the policy's done. But every month they pay into that policy, he gets a percentage of that money from that policy that he sold someone.
Okay,
So over the past 30 years that he worked there.
how quickly is that monthly income reducing? What rate?
In 2 years, it's went from 800 to 599. So in that time period, it's gone down significantly.
Are you asking the court to permit you to continue staying and residing in the house?
Right. My kids go to school in the same area where they're zoned, and they need consistency. So yes, I am.
And
She
you
has
filed a
lived there.
motion asking
She has lived there since September, but her kids need consistency. That's what she's trying to say.
that the marital residence be sold. Is that
Right.
correct? And are you asking that the marital residence be sold and the proceeds paid into court for the court to determine down the road how to divide it?
Right.
She wants
So, Ms.
the house
Potnick,
sold now.
your three children that live with you, you heard testimony about the arrows being shot. And you heard your husband's testimony that the target was missed in the garage and it created a hole the size of a number 2 pencil.
The pencil tip.
Okay.
Right. It was actually, so I was going to buy putty because at first I thought it was a huge hole that he was talking about. And when I went to go buy putty, I saw that the hole was barely the size of a finger, like a pencil tip. And I was like, it's not even worth covering because it's barely
So she thought the hole was gigantic, so she was going to buy putty, but then she realized that the hole was small and thought putty wasn't needed.
noticeable.
Did you just discipline the children?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Just the tip.
And
Just the
Ryder
tip,
guy's phone
Andy.
taken away in his guitar. His guitar's prized possession, so he got in trouble.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
This cross-examination is one of the most amazing things that I've seen in a long time. I love this cross-examination. You guys got to pay attention to this.
Robert?
Ms. Bonnick, why is it that you want the house sold?
Well, Jody mentioned that as well
I
because
didn't ask what he did. I asked, why do you want it sold?
Or if my client could answer the question.
I agree.
I don't think she's asking the question. She's answering the question. She's saying that he wanted it sold too, but the question is, why does she want it sold? So.
Right. Because that was the house we were married in. And if I'm leaving, then we both move on. I want the house sold.
So just in revenge.
No, definitely not revenge. I'm not
Yeah, definitely
vindictive
revenge.
like that.
Okay. Well, you put this income and expense statement for whatever the truth of it is that
I'm
you
just
don't
argumentative.
have
Staying on the sidebar comments, on the next sidebar comments.
You're stating that you only have $3,912 a month to support you, your three kids, and your mother.
Right.
And you're going to sell a home that you've not contributed to whatsoever, correct?
Right.
And you're going to have that listed for sale, so there's going to be a sales commission that's going to be paid on it, correct?
Correct.
And then you're going to have capital gains tax on any income that you derive from that, correct? Did you know that?
Correct.
And so again, it's certainly not for financial gain that you think you're going to sell the house, is it?
Well, the divorce is going to end us. We're not going to be together anymore, and I want a fresh start. He would want a fresh start. I want the house sold.
He would want a
Oh,
fresh
you want the
start.
money, right?
Not necessarily, no.
Now, and your income and expense statement is $3,912.46 is what your income is. But again, you're making $22 an hour.
Right.
So that's 45,000 and some change a year, correct? 45,760 a year.
Yes.
So you divide that out, and I divided by 52 weeks, and that's $3,813.
Okay.
Where did you, and do you make any overtime or anything else?
No, we're not allowed
Okay.
overtime.
But this income that you've got up here, this monthly income before taxes, does not include the 687, the 780, or the 599, which is an additional $2,066. Isn't that correct?
If that's what you have on there.
Well, you don't have it on there. I added it up. But if you look down at the bottom, monthly court order child support, 687.
And also, it's not consistent. I mentioned why.
You didn't put that up. That's not included in this number, is it?
Is it not?
Did I not include all
Is it or
of
is it not? This is what you've introduced as your income, ma'am.
It's not introduced
Okay.
because it's not consistent, because he doesn't have a job half the time, his father.
Well, see, I asked you, when I called you on direct examination, I asked you what child support you get, and you know what your testimony was?
Yes, and I told you.
No, you just said, I want to get it for Sailor. You get 687. You
right.
didn't mention that you got it for Bryson.
Because I hardly get it.
Well, when was the last time you got it?
Last
Last month.
No, let me finish, please. I got it probably back in October of 2023. And I can show proof of that.
Have you instituted any cases against him to try to collect the money?
Well, it's kind of pointless because it's already garnished out of his wages, and it would cost me
Yes, absolutely, but it's kind of pointless, so I haven't. So which one is true, lady?
money that I don't really have to fight him. And
So you would instead let somebody who's not the father of your child support you and provide a home for you than to go get money from the person who's supposed to be supporting that child.
well, he does work sometimes, and when he does, I do get money for Bryson. So, and I'm doing what I can. Make sure he has everything he needs.
You're doing what you can.
Right, for my kids.
Have you gotten another job?
No, I have a baby. New baby.
Okay.
Well,
Does that preclude you from having to support your children?
I don't think I would have time to have another job.
She doesn't have time to have another job, although she spent the entire time on direct testifying that her mother lives there to take care of the kids.
And I work 40 hours a week.
You just work 40 hours a week. And your mother you're providing a roof for your mother on somebody else's dime. Correct?
She helps a lot with the children, so that's saving me on having to get childcare.
Your 10-year-old has a cell phone,
Yes. Everyone in his grade has one.
so we have to keep up with the Joneses. But because everybody in his grade has one.
Well, he rides the
Who does he
bus.
call?
He games on it and stuff like that. That's what all the kids do these days.
But who's paying the internet so that he can log on to it out there at Yellow Creek?
I am.
You're paying the internet
On the phone.
on the phone?
I'm paying the cell phone.
Okay, he doesn't click on and get on and not use his cellular data?
I could use hotspot if I need to.
Who pays for the hotspot?
Me. I pay for my cell phone.
Okay, so that's what you're doing.
If I need to.
She's trying to avoid the fact that the kid uses the internet at home that the husband pays for. And she's just like squirreling all around the question.
And ask what you needed to, I asked what you were doing.
So right now, when he's not home, he runs off the service. I don't even know if he's even connected to the wireless
Oh,
internet.
it's even
half the
worse,
time.
Patty.
He's 10.
Now, you go to Green Hills twice a week is what your testimony is?
Sometimes I go in Tuesdays and Thursdays, and she changes it up, but most of the time it's Tuesdays and Thursdays.
No, I didn't ask what most of the time. You testified when I put you on the witness stand first, that you have to go to Green Hills twice a week.
Right.
That's not true, is it?
Unless the weather's bad or if it's snowing. No, I don't go if it's snowing.
And you don't
And
go,
She doesn't go into work if it's snowing or if the weather's bad. I don't know what the weather bad mean, but she goes in twice a week unless the weather is bad or it's snowing.
This past week, I didn't go on Tuesday because it storms. So it does change sometimes.
So when I subpoena your work records and
Absolutely.
that they're going to tell you you were at the office 2 times every week,
Go ahead.
every week since the beginning of this year.
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
That's the truth.
Unless there's bad weather, or if something's going on with the kids, or if something's going on.
Well, how many
Or if something is going on, or if there's something going on with the kids, or if it's bad weather now. So now there's 2 additional things.
times has something gone on?
Quite a bit. The weather, it was winter.
It was winter. She couldn't go to work in the winter.
Now, I've got some black and white pictures, but I did in print them in color, and I'm gonna come to you and show you these if the court will allow. Just give me a little shot. You know.
Yeah, I know. It snows like 1 time throughout the winter in Tennessee.
And you were watching the video, you videoed yourself and you saw your son.
Right, so he was
shooting the
safe.
holes into the drywall, or it's the insulation, isn't it?
She snitched on herself.
I
She
haven't
took
seen
video of her kids shooting arrows into the wall.
I can't even see it.
You can't see that, oh, so
Oh, now I can see the screen. Sorry. Right, that's,
Hey,
I'm
Wesley.
gonna give you some black and
All right, for anyone who coming in late. So this woman has 3 different kids with 3 different fathers. She spit out her last kid in June of 2023. Then in September of 2023, got married to the husband. Then the husband bought a house, $760,000 home, put her name on it, but he takes all the debt. Then in October, they started having troubles in their marriage. So this is only a month in. The wife realizes through therapy that she doesn't actually love the husband. She's just married him for a stable life for her 3 kids, her 3 bastard kids. And then in so far where we are. So then in December, he files for divorce. In January, they get it on one more time. And then, but she keeps threatening to call the police to fake some sort of allegation of domestic abuse to get him out of the home. Now she's filed a motion for exclusive use of the marital home and to compel it to be sold so that she can take half the value of this $760,000, which she testified to she hasn't contributed 1 single dime to. So this has all happened within 5 months that I just explained. No, June to it's January, so 6 months. So that's where we are. That's who this woman is. And welcome.
white photographs here that I made as an exhibit.
And these are zoomed in,
Yes, I'm not disputing, these are.
right? And they're so tiny, it's hard to, I could buddy them, but they're so tiny.
Oh yeah,
but you
he's an accountant VP at some firm and makes $200 and some $1,000 a year. She was a waitress at Twin Peaks, and they had a on again, off again hookup relationship for 7 years before she finally locked this idiot down.
And he had, so if it was a huge issue, why wouldn't you do it?
Well, why would he be,
Why wouldn't he if you had pride in the house?
well, why would you not?
Because it was so tiny.
Again, looking at just these color photographs, those are the black and white ones we've done. As we scroll down, there's multiple holes shot into the insulation, and this is insulation that's on the garage door.
Oh, and her kids are
And
like
the drywall
destroying the
in the-
house,
in the living-
breaking
in the-
cabinets, shooting arrows into the walls in the garage, running over trees.
In the garage, right?
Right.
Your Honor, we'll move this here. So picture.
Is that income, is her income, is that gonna be,
I didn't-
is that gonna be exhibit?
If he made an exhibit, I didn't.
Did you make?
I'd ask him to make it. Okay.
So this income's gonna be number 4, and those pictures will be number 5.
Now, I'll show you another, and I can pull the color one up, the black and white photograph.
Right, color.
Did you lie to your husband and tell him that you were driving the truck and ran over the,
Right, yes, I did.
what vehicle was your 10-year-old driving?
My truck. At the top.
The Tahoe that your husband is the one solely financed with.
I am too. I'm on there just as much as he is.
Well, you said his name was just on the note.
No, we are both on there.
Okay, you're both on that note.
He's a co-signer.
So you're letting your 10-year-old drive a 2021 Tahoe to the point where he ran over a shrubbery that was there, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you lied about it.
I lied to protect my child, which any mother would do if they're scared their kid will get in trouble by someone.
Well,
So she lied to protect her child because she didn't want her child to get in trouble. Ma'am, that's what is raising kids. That's how you raise kids. You know, if they do something wrong, you punish them. The fact that you lied to your husband about that because you didn't want them to get in trouble shows exactly where your mind is, what your goals are.
Because your son was driving
Well,
did he
I
know
did
that,
add up here.
did he know that that you had allowed your 10-year-old to drive a vehicle
No,
that
because
is
I thought it
a,
was me that did it.
so we've established that you
Let's
lied.
establish a ground rule. Only one of you talk at once at a time.
I'm sorry.
Hornick over in front of me has to take down every word that's being said. And when there's conversation going on at the same time, it makes her job extremely difficult. So you just wait for her to finish her question and she will let you answer it. And if she doesn't, I'll stop her. But you make sure that she answers, she asks you the question, wait, and then you answer it, please.
Yes, sir.
So we've established that you're not above line. Is that correct?
That's
Great.
argumentative.
Yeah, how not to parent 101,
Well,
right? Just
The court is the one who has to try this case, whether that is argumentative or not, really has no bearing on me. It has been established that she lied to her husband about who was driving the car. That fact is proven, so the question itself is not evidence.
I agree, Mads. Like the arrow thing isn't bad. Or kids breaking the cabinet. You know, they broke the cabinet door. We'll get to that in a second. Isn't bad. Or even the 10-year-old driving and then running down the shrub. None of that, these are life, experiences and things like that. It's the fact that she lied to her husband because she didn't want the kids to get in trouble. Like just lying, teaching your kids to lie. That whole thing is bad.
We always tell the jury, so I take it with a grain of salt.
So in addition, you sent your husband a text message and stated that you had fallen with the child and broke a cabinet.
Right.
And that was also a falsehood, isn't it?
That was also the same tactic of being protecting my children because
And that's why I just said it was still a falsehood, correct?
I guess if you want to spin it that way.
You lied
Spin it that
The
way.
jury.
because your son,
Yes.
one of your sons,
And I
broke-
did that out of protection to make sure he didn't get on that.
The judge is
the
intended.
judge has already
I don't know
instructed for
anything.
you to wait till I finish asking my
Okay, I'm
question.
sorry.
The judge has already instructed that you wait till I finish asking the question and I will wait for your response. Can you do that?
Yes, ma'am.
You lied to your husband when which one of your sons ripped off or tore a door off of this cabinet?
Okay, so what happened was they broke it and it was just hanging there, so I finished and took it off.
Did you unscrew it,
No, I just kind of took it off.
She just ripped
causing
the rest
damage
of the
to
cabinet
the
door.
hardware into the wood, correct?
Yes.
Did you ever take the time out and putty it and put it back up?
No, ma'am.
Why not?
Hey,
I didn't know how.
Danielle,
If I did
little
know how to
D.
do something like that, I would have fixed many things in the house that need to be done.
Just like you didn't take the time to go buy putty and putty the holes that your son knocked in the wall. Correct?
Yes.
Gets even better.
I could judge, I'm gonna make a photograph of it.
Cross is great. She just finished breaking it, right? Exactly.
And again, I apologize, these are black and white. Yeah, this is the tree that he ran over, correct? And we'll make that an exhibit. Number 6. And then this is the color photos I showed you on my computer. That's the text message as well as the damage that was done, correct? And we'll move that to the next cumulative exhibit. Number 7. Yeah, it's not.
I was sorry, I was just trying to help you.
No, that's what I keep it moved on it. I'm gonna show you a video.
High maintenance woman, definitely.
So this is your new baby, right? And that's you holding him in your lap.
Right,
And this is your oldest child
right.
doing what we were complaining about and shooting holes. And this is, the photograph here shows the garage door
Right.
with the insulation on it. And that's where he was shooting into that,
No, it was in front of it.
in front of it.
No, like the
She has the
Box is
baby
like
in the
right here,
garage
the
while
wall
they're
right
shooting
here.
arrows
garage is like right here.
that are
So
clearly missing the
he
target.
used it
I
for
don't know.
construction.
Doesn't
Garage
sound
was
like
on
the
path
best of
bow and
mothers.
arrow.
And how did this all get damaged?
Well, it wasn't while I was taking the video.
I'm gonna step back. So two occasions that you just admitted that you've lied about. Now, you are also communicating with another gentleman now, aren't you?
I have a friend that I text, but I'm not, I mean,
A male friend.
She's communicating with another gentleman. All right, let's get into
Yes.
this.
That you are anticipating and romantically texting, correct?
he lives in Chattanooga, so
Now, then that's where you live.
Okay, well, no, we don't talk like that.
You don't talk that.
Support a friend, because I'm going through this and I need a friend. And I don't have a lot of girlfriends that really care, so I'm reaching out to him as a,
He's just a friend.
I'm not trying to question you because we're going to subpoena your text records from him. And I'm asking you right now, we've already established that you embellish or tell falsehoods. And I'm asking you right now to create a record because we have a court reporter. They are not romantic in nature. Is that correct? Yes or no?
we don't really talk like that over text message though.
Not
I
to
guess
the
I just
point
don't
of,
look at
Her response isn't we don't have a romantic relationship. Her response is we don't talk like that over text message.
it that way.
not what y'all gonna do when your divorce is over. You can't wait to see him.
Just kind of been talking more about my feelings.
Okay. Okay, just understand that you're under oath and there's a penalty of perjury if you testify falsely. You understand that?
Right.
And so you are not romantically involved with anybody.
I did sleep with him.
She's not romantically involved. She did sleep with him though. But that's not romance. As clearly this woman thinks are completely different. Like she can sleep with whoever, but it's not romantic.
But we don't talk about it.
We just don't talk about it on text.
You understand, I called you as a witness first and I asked you if you were seeing anybody, didn't I?
I'm not seeing him. He lives in
Oh,
Chattanooga.
you're just having sex with him.
I had sex with him twice.
Twice. Oh, I did sleep with him. Now I have
Oh, we
slept with
don't
him
text
multiple
about
times.
He lives in Chattanooga, guys.
I don't have a romantic relationship. We just slept together twice, but we don't text about it. That's what you were asking.
Slept with him twice.
Where?
And 2 times in a hotel.
Wait,
One time in a hotel, one time in a hotel.
where?
The first time was Nashville. Second time was in Murfreesboro.
Who paid for it?
He did.
So you're looking for somebody else to start taking care of you?
No, I don't want him. We don't even really talk now because I thought I was going to work it out with my husband.
So she sleeps with this guy twice and then decides that she's going to try to work it out with her husband.
Well, you lied to him. He asked you if you were dating anybody. You know what you told him? If you were seeing somebody.
I'm not seeing anybody.
You just having sex with somebody.
I had sex with him twice.
Did he ask you if you were seeing somebody or having a relationship with somebody?
He did, and I
And you
don't think
lied,
I'm
didn't
not
you?
seeing someone.
You lied, didn't you?
I'd ask that my client be given the opportunity to answer the questions Ms. Roberts poses.
I apologize.
Trying to answer the
Please
question.
allow her to answer the question.
You lied to your husband about having sex with
He didn't ask
somebody.
if I had sex with someone.
He didn't ask if you had sex. What did he
She
ask?
wouldn't have cared
If I
about
was
that.
seeing anyone, and I'm not.
And you're not. You just having sex with somebody.
I did twice, and I'm being honest about that.
Well, where were your kids when you were shacking up with this man while you're married?
Good question.
Well, at one time, my mom was watching them,
Okay.
and the other time, my mom was watching them both times actually.
Did you advise her and tell her that you were going to meet another man?
No.
Well, she wouldn't have condoned that, would she?
No.
She would have been quite angry.
Yes.
Who is this
She loves
man?
Jody.
What's his name?
Will.
What's his name?
Will.
What's his name? Please give his full name.
I don't care about his last name. I'm just trying to find out who, is he a coworker or just somebody she
Oh,
liked?
no, it's not a coworker. I met him on Instagram years ago, and I met it with him twice. He lives in Chattanooga.
I just thought
and
I
I'm-
missed it.
Well, and
Never
I would
seen
like
him
his
yet.
name. I would like his name.
Will Hansen.
Well, what?
Will Hansen.
Will Hansen. Will Hansen. Calling out to Will Hansen of Chattanooga, Tennessee. Please, sir, contact me. My contact information is in the channel description. I have some questions for you, sir.
Hanson?
With an H.
Hanson.
Hansen.
Hanson. I'm sorry. I don't have a hearing aids in. And when were these liaisons?
The exact dates I don't. I'd have to.
This has gone on a while. She's admitted to having
It's-
Hold on a second.
an affair. We're here on division of debt and possession of the house. With respect to the division of debt, marital fault is,
By the way, so this would be a huge issue in Michigan. And it sounds like it's not the fault of the divorce is not an issue in Tennessee. This would be an issue in Michigan. This would definitely be something that would grant him all the assets that he brought into the marriage.
not a factor.
I'll move on, Judge. The only other question I was going to ask is who paid for the gas and whose car did you use to drive to meet
Ask
you?
that question and that'll be the last one.
He paid for everything.
He gave you gas money?
Yes, cash,
How much did he give you?
$80.
So this man you met on Instagram gave you $80 to meet him in a hotel room in Murfreesboro and in Nashville to have sex.
I just love that. Who was it? Someone in the chat was like, when are we going to get into like how much she was paid for each sexual encounter? And I said we were going to get there. But yeah, hang on. I got to back this up. I just love the way this is raised.
I'll move on, Judge. The only other question I was going to ask is who paid for the gas and whose car did you use to drive to meet
Ask
you?
that question and that'll be the last one.
He paid for everything.
He gave you gas money?
Yes, cash,
How much did he give you?
$80.
So this man you met on Instagram gave you $80 to meet him in a hotel room in Murfreesboro and in Nashville to have sex.
He didn't give
I'm
me.
going to object. That seems facts, not negatives. She's implying something totally different. And
What am I implying?
Yeah,
I
she
think you're implying
testified
she
she gave him.
met with him for money.
Pardon?
The way I took the question was that
She was saying Ms. Roberts is implying that she is having sex with this man for money. I think she's implying that she was asking whether she had expended marital funds to meet her paramour, and that was the question that was put forth, and she testified that the gentleman gave her money for gas and so forth. I didn't take it that it was in any implication. of
Okay.
anything.
Yeah, Judge.
Is there any other times that somebody's given you any other money that you've not disclosed on your?
Like how the judge weaseled out of that, by the way. Like I didn't know, I didn't sense any implication that she was being paid like a prostitute. When clearly that was the implication. But the judge was like, no, we're gonna let that stand.
Your income and expense statement? So that you first you only told stories because you were covering for your kids. Then you told a story about having relations with another man while you're still married. And you also told a story about the fact of threatening to call the police and have Mr. Tootle kicked out of the house. And you have said that, haven't you?
Right, I did not say that.
You did. You're sure?
I'm 100% sure.
You
I did
understand?
not
We've
say
had
that.
there.
I'm 100% sure that she did not say that she was going to create a story to have him kicked out of the house. I'm 100% sure.
That there could be surveillance.
Totally
No,
fine.
you don't want to recant that right now.
No.
All right, thank you, ma'am. You have every opportunity before this hearing is over with to recant that statement. Are you, again, testifying that you never made a threat to him to call the police and have him thrown out of the house?
The one about me throwing myself against the wall, I did not say that.
Okay, well, what did you say?
Okay, so the one about me throwing myself against the wall, she didn't say that. That one.
Which time when I threatened it?
Well, obviously, there's more than
Which time? Which time I'm sorry, I'm breaking this up. This is just amazing. I'm gonna go back.
you don't want to recant that right now.
No.
All right, thank you, ma'am. You have every opportunity before this hearing is over with to recant that statement. Are you, again, testifying that you never made a threat to him to call the police and have him thrown out of the house?
The one about me throwing myself against the wall, I did not say that.
Okay, well, what did you say?
Which time when I threatened it?
Well, obviously, there's more than one threat.
Because he is kind of a bully. And yes, I will threaten to call the cops on you if you threaten me. I
Okay.
hate him.
I don't, you can threaten me all you want to, but when did you threaten him to call the police on him and have him thrown out of the house? When did you do it?
I didn't call.
I didn't ask if you called. I said, when did you make that threat?
I did it several times. It was when he mentioned it too, back for December and then between January and March. I don't know the exact dates.
I mean, just last week you did it, didn't you?
Because he's being rude to me. He said, I can't wait till you're out of this house. Wait till a judge sees this. I'm gonna make sure you're gone. You and your kids will be out on the street.
Okay.
So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna call the cops on you if you keep threatening me.
So telling you you're rude and that he
Police
wants you out of the
call.
house is, you're gonna call the police.
I
That's,
told him to stop and he did.
that's all.
It's a great way to end. Let's see if this guy can recover.
Bognick, you heard Ms. Roberts asked you why you want the property sold, correct? During your husband's testimony, did you hear him testify that he couldn't afford to buy you out of your part of the house?
Right.
He couldn't access further funds? So are you asking the house be sold?
Your Honor, again, I'm gonna object to leading.
No, that's not leading. I said, are you asking? So I wasn't able to finish my question, but
I withdraw the objection.
Objection withdrawn.
are you asking the house be sold and net proceeds be paid in court to be divided equally between the two of you?
Yes.
So he did testify that he took his savings. So he put $160,000 down on the house and used mostly his savings in order to do that. But he did have to get $40,000 line of credit from his 401k, and that was maxed out. And because of the equity in the home and the price of the home, he wasn't going to be able to get like any sort of second mortgage or anything to buy her out. And so he wasn't able to financially give her whatever half the equity would be if they were to sell the home. So that is an accurate recanting of his testimony.
There's been no domestic violence in your house, or has there been?
Verbally.
Explain that to the court.
He can be a bully sometimes, and he will keeps threatening that I'll have to leave the house, and just makes me and my kids walk on eggshells. And so that's why I said that about the cabinet and the tree, because I was scared if he's like, well, you keep destroying the stuff in the house, that you're just gonna have to move out and leave, and we have nowhere to go. And so I basically.
You and your husband, is this a large house?
It's a little about over 3,000, so it's not too big.
Okay. So can you and your husband cohabitate in this house and
Right,
not have much interaction?
Right, we have a bonus room upstairs that he has been staying up there, and we seem to coexist pretty well, considering.
No more questions, John.
You don't have anywhere to go. What are you gonna do if the house sells?
That's a good question.
You understand the question? She's asking if you don't have any place to go, where are you going to go when the house sells?
I might have to get help from my sister.
So you have the availability to do that?
No, I'll have to reach out if that's the case. She lives in Texas. I have no family in Tennessee, besides my mom.
But of course, until you were caught on cross-examination about telling numerous lies, you never raised one issue or told anything about some verbal abuse, did you?
That's why it was brought up about me having to threaten to call the police.
Why did you have sex with this man after the divorce was served if he's such an abusive person?
Well, same instance, he had sex with me.
Well, I asked that
It was
question.
that
Why did you have sex with your husband if he's so abusive? Well, the same reason he had sex with me. What is it, ma'am? Answer the question.
one of those
You're on the
nights.
witness stand now.
We were both drinking, and
No, I'm
It
going to
just-
object.
it's my
This is
husband.
outside the scope.
Got drunk and he
And I do
was
still have
there.
Hold on just a second. The objections outside the scope of redirect sustained. I think we've heard all we need to about that.
Got drunk and he was there.
But you also told, you didn't tell him about your paramour because you wanted to try to save your marriage. That's what you just testified to. That's all.
Thank you. You may step down.
Have you ever been verbally abusive?
No, we call each other names, but that's it.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
Have you ever been verbally abusive to your wife?
We call each other names. What she said about being out of the house, I did say that. Just because I thought that's what was gonna happen.
That's all. Thank you.
So do you have any questions?
I may have just a moment.
I love the judge at the end. We're just about done. By the way, I don't have a conclusion. The judge took everything under advisement.
While you're thinking about your question, go ahead.
So, Mr. Tootle, have you ever called your wife any derogatory names?
I have.
What were they?
I called her a cunt once.
What else have you called her?
Lazy.
Lazy?
Called her a
I
bitch too, didn't you?
No,
believe that's accurate.
Do that in front of her children?
no, but she did say when I asked her how would she pay for her vehicle when this is all over, she said she'll spread her legs like she's always has done before.
You would what?
I
She
believe
said
that.
she would spread her legs like she's always done before.
You called
I'm
her?
going to try to get it.
That was back in October, yes.
So a month after you got married, you're calling your wife derogatory names.
Asked and answered.
That was after she had called me a
Hold on,
troll.
if there's an objection, wait.
Objection, answered, asked and answered.
Objection is sustained.
So, Mr. Tootle, you make a lot of money, right?
I do okay.
You do a little more than okay. We established that a little bit earlier.
Objection
despite-
outside the scope of redirect.
Well, actually, you called him as a rebuttal witness, so this is not redirect.
Well, as
Oh.
outside the
Yeah, I don't have it. But if that's the final outcome, that's going to be awesome.
scope of.
I don't think it applies when you recall him as a rebuttal witness. This is open cross-examination. Overruled.
Tootle, as much as you want to avoid truthfully testifying as to what your income is, you make a lot more money than your wife.
I can answer that. So the 14,000 that you have on there. It's because I took one paycheck and I doubled it. I didn't consider that we have 26 paychecks because we're biweekly. So if you add that together, then it gets to 182. So that's why that was that way. When I was given that income sheet, I took one paycheck because I don't know what the taxes are, because I don't think of it gross, I think of it net. So that's why that number was 14,000.
So rounding error. It doesn't include an $80,000 bonus.
It's because this year I haven't gotten the bonus.
You've gotten it for the past 10 years at least. That's what you testified to, correct?
I know, but I was told to put down guaranteed income.
You're really trying to avoid this question, aren't you?
I'm answering it truthfully. If I was guaranteed to get 80,000, I'd put it down.
All right. You make a lot of money.
Asked and answered.
Your Honor, I'm just trying to get to my point that I was about to get to earlier.
Keep asking that question now 3 times, sustained.
You like to use the fact that you make a lot more money than your wife as a threat against her and her children, don't you?
No. I pay for everything. Well, how's that a threat?
You like
That's
to
fact.
threaten to make her homeless, don't you?
No. I don't know, because I don't know her true financial situation. I figured her mom has property. They have a trailer. She has a place to go.
But you told her that you're going to make sure that she's kicked out of that house.
I didn't say I was going to make sure of that. I said, you will probably be out of the house. I didn't say I'm going to make sure. There's nothing within my power to do that. That's why we're in this court today.
You threatened her that you and your 3 kids are going to be out of this house.
I did not say you and your 3 kids will be out of this house. I said, it'll be up to the judge.
No more questions.
That's all.
I love the judge's questions here.
You knew her for 7 years before you married her, right?
I did.
You helped her get a job,
I did.
and you knew she was carrying another man's child when you married her, right?
She already had the baby out when we got
Already
married.
had the baby. So she had 3 children by 3 different men, and you knew all of that before you married her.
I did.
So you kind of knew what you were getting,
The judge says exactly what we're all thinking.
carrying another man's child when you married her, right?
She already had the baby out when we got
Already
married.
had the baby. So she had 3 children by 3 different men, and you knew all of that before you married her.
I did.
So you kind of knew what you were getting into, or at least you suspected you knew.
I kind of figured it was a 50-50 whether it was going to work out.
So
Stupid, I know.
most men, when they get married, they don't think about 50-50 chance of it working out when they, ask someone to marry them.
I wanted to believe.
Although I would say that with the divorce rate in this country, that's probably not far from the average of what marriages work out and what don't. But my question to this is, you expected there would be problems, I assume.
Yeah, I wanted to believe what she was telling me. She was past going out and partying, and she was ready to be a family and settle down, and she was looking for stability.
Cared for her and you wanted to help her.
And obviously for 8 years, there's something there, I was fed the whole 9 yards.
The point is that you went into this knowing that there could be problems, right?
I did.
And it turned out there are problems.
Within a couple of weeks, I figured out there was problems.
Couple of weeks.
But you say you still love her.
I do, but I don't think I have the same kind of love that I had before. It's more, I care about her.
All right, that's all. Step down.
All right. So
That's our.
that's it. That was the entire hearing that I had clipped anyways. Apparently, according to Jill, the outcome was that the husband prevailed and the wife had to leave with mama and kids. They were given a few weeks to vacate. And I watched this. I don't know if you guys have TikTok or not, but every once in a while I'll flip through and I started seeing this and I'm like, oh my God, I hope there's more. And so then I ended up capturing the whole thing, and so I could present it to you all. And I hope it was entertaining. But this is not terribly uncommon when it comes to my practice. I do a lot of family law in Michigan, and there are a lot of fights like this. Not to this extent, though. This was just an amazing cross, and this woman is horrible, and the guy is a fool, and frankly, they deserve each other. That's all I got for you. I just thought it would be fun to do a little Saturday afternoon stream. Yeah, he wants to go back with her just for the hookups. Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. He seems like a smart guy. He makes a lot of money. He's a VP. He's got a good job, and he just was. This woman can do no harm still in his eyes. She hooked up with a guy twice, and he took her back into his bed. Apparently. More family law. I do have another, actually, one that I recorded about a year ago, a family law case. I might do that. I might do some more family law since that's a lot of what my actual practice is. I do have one that was quite entertaining. It was a custody battle. And it's just sort of sitting in the can. So I might pull that one up and do that another day. But anyway, so that's what I got. Let's see. Smart about double. Wait, yeah, exactly. Maybe he's too smart to see the signs. And Dolly gets here right at the end. Hey, we're just about ending, Dolly. But anyway, so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm not monetized if for people who've been asking. I don't know if this channel will ever be monetized, but still, I do it for you. I don't do it for the money. And I'll try to put together another family law stream. I think that's fun. These things are fun. So I'll put one together and maybe be back next week at some point. This is nice. Yeah. You can support the channel here if you want to. He might be socially awkward, although he seemed fairly normal on the stand. I didn't have a problem with his, like when he's testifying, he seems like a normal dude. I think he just was blinded by the nipples. I guess I don't know what else to say. We all know MLS is the content for the Legos. I do actually. And if you are so inclined, if you are watching my other channel, there is a Amazon wish list. So for Pixie or whoever that can't do Cash App, and if you do want to support, you can go to the Amazon wish list and buy Lego from my other streams, such as I think Aaron Olivia sent me this one, and Wendy sent me the one I built yesterday. I've got others. I don't know who sent them, but I'm going to try to keep doing them. I'm going to try to keep doing as many streams as I can, but I tried to do YouTube full time. It just monetarily wasn't working, and so I got to keep up the day job. So, but with that, I'm going to let you guys go. I don't have anywhere to send you yet. I guess I could. Who's streaming? Who are we going to redirect to? I don't do this very often, so now I forget that I can redirect. Let's see here. You know what? I'm going to send you guys over to Steph, the author nerd. Tell her I said hi. It's been a minute since I've watched her streams, but go tell her I said hi if you wouldn't mind, and I will see you guys on the next one.
When I was young, my daddy said, gotta keep one eye open in your bed, 'cause there's a time coming when the devil gonna come for you. So my trigger finger said